I think I'm ready to share this with you guys. Almost 2 weeks to the day my father passed away, and it was very sudden. And I think why I want to share this with you is I got to see my father's life, right? All the decisions he's made and everything, and I got to see his story. And in that, I want to share with you his story as a part of my story. And I think I'd like to move forward in before I get into how it all happened and everything. I wanted to share with you guys just the background story. So my biological dad, so I have a stepdad and a biological dad, and it was my biological dad who passed away. One of the first decisions he ever made was to actually cut me out of his life. He did not raise me. When he found out my mom was pregnant, he decided to leave. They'd been married for, I don't know, six years or something like that. So I didn't really, I didn't know him when I was a child. I did, however, get to meet him when I was 5 years old. He wanted to come back into my life, claimed to be a Christian, right? And that he was going to change his ways because he was an alcoholic. And, you know, he like really started changing some stuff up. And I thought he was, you know, the world. You know, I thought he was the coolest person ever. I thought he was the Macho Man. If you guys ever have heard of WWE. So I met him, we went to a park, and I was there with my grandpa and my mom, and it was really, really cool. And over the years, I got to see him once or twice a year. We went and saw Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace together. He was a huge Star Wars fan, and made me a Star Wars fan. One spring when I was 17 years old, I decided to drive out to visit him in Arizona, in the middle of the desert, right? Spring break, leaving San Diego, and cultivate a relationship with him. And I'm so glad I made that decision. I didn't know the McClintock side of my family. I didn't, I had no idea who these people were, really. It was amazing that I got to spend the last 16 years. I got to spend my adulthood having a relationship with my father. I'd see him every Thanksgiving, for like all the holidays. I would drive out and see him, or he'd fly me out. I didn't always get along with my father. I didn't always agree with what he would say, or, you know, how he would act and all that. But I loved my father. You know, he could charm a room, and he could be an amazing friend. And I think I have a lot of those same qualities. He was not a perfect man. I loved him all the same. And this gets to where his story ends, and my so it was 2 Wednesdays ago. I'm at my fiance's house, and so my stepbrother's wife calls me, and she's like, "I've got bad news." And you know, I'm like, uh-oh. I didn't know what to think in that moment. And then she tells me that my dad is dead, and I like remember jumping to my feet, and I didn't really know what to say. And then Katie, I think she realized what was going on, and she came up and gave me a big hug and was like, what's going on? And I didn't really have words to say. I just remember like weeping, you know, like you know, like in the movies when you see people like cry and it's really loud and it's really ugly and it's not the best. I remember I like ran. I started running, and then my legs gave out and I like fell, and I just continued to cry, and it was really hard. And it's still hard. I know that I've been processing through it. I've been really angry. I know you guys are used to me being like, whoa, what's going on, guys, dudes, people, whatever, like just, you know, being the silly teacher. But it's been really hard. And this is part of my story so far, right? At 30 years old, I lost my father, and that's really, really hard. My father's health was really bad. He had really bad health, and he was living a very, not the best life, right? When your health has failed you multiple times, and so there is comfort in that, but at the same time, it's also, you know, I look at his decisions in life, and those aren't the decisions that I want to make. I'm getting married in 3 months. This is my story now. He won't be at my wedding, unfortunately, but I'm starting a life with my fiance to live together, and in October when we get married, and I get to start a family, and I'll eventually get to be a father. And you know, I'm not going to make that decision to not raise my kids. I want to be that father, and as much as I love my father, I don't want to make the same decisions as my father. I wanted to share this with you because I know I've been absent on social media, and I've taken a break. To be honest. I needed it for just myself. I want to cultivate and create a community here. And I want to share my story, and I think that's something like my choices, my decisions that I've made in life that you guys can learn from. As a teacher, right? I'm the goofy Mr. McTikTok teacher. I try to teach my students all the time about the choices that I've made. I don't tell them everything because I'm a professional, but at the same time, I share some of these things. I'm like, guys, this is something that I've done that I would have done differently had I been your age. I will be processing through this more, and I know it's going to take time to process through everything, but at the end of the day, that's good to be able to process and feel the pain. And I've been angry, and I've been sad, and I think back on those memories, and they bring me all those emotions like wrapped into one. And if you've ever lost a loved one, it hurts, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel. It's okay to be angry. I've read your comments, and I love you guys. Thank you for that. And I hear you. And some of you have lost parents to accidents. Some of you have lost parents too soon. We carry those memories, and you know, as much as I'm mourning this, I can look at my life and go, I've got an amazing fiance. My best friend dropped everything that he was doing. He's my best man. He dropped everything that he was doing that night and came over to Katie's place, came over to where we were, and he was like, do you need me to spend the night? He spent the night as I drove home from my fiance's apartment. And he stayed with me in this like tiny little shack that I have, and just he stayed there with me that whole night, just making sure I was okay. In this death, there has been beauty. So I can't wait to share more of my story so far. Next video, I'll tell you guys about how I got on social media to begin with, because I hated social media. I actually despised it. So I'd like to share that with you guys. And so subscribe, follow me, like the video, leave a comment. Let me know that you're there. Love you guys. Later. Shaw!